You see, first of all, one has to be very patient when you meet these NPP guys. You have to be very, very patient.
Just like we are patient with you.
That you just lose your cool. Let me just take one. He says that IFC and MEDA issued a sales license. A sales license to who? To who? Because as at the time we're leaving office, nobody had even been selected. Nobody had won the bid, let alone talk of giving the person a sales license.
Can I answer that?
You see the state of confusion of this
No. While I know he's asked the question, can I answer it?
These people,
a tariff methodology was supposed to be published as part of the conditions moving forward before you go to the consultative phase of having the stakeholders going on.
See,
so that was done. There was a publication.
Richard.
Then the tariff sales license was also published.
You know something? I saw him putting down points when you were speaking.
There's nothing like sales license.
So you put down your point. If you disagree with him, I'll give you the opportunity to react to it. Yes,
there's nothing like sales license. He's a confused state. There's nothing like sales license. Look, when you go through the process and eventually the concessionaire is selected, there are three main agreements. There's a bulk supply agreement, there's a lease and assignment agreement, and there's a government consent, government support and consent agreement. All this has to come to Parliament for approval before it is done. Then Energy Commission will give them a retail license in order for them to retail that. So if there's no entity, no company has won the bid, where does a license come in? You see the bankruptcy and the empty information. And yesterday you had a field day on CTF. I was watching him. City News. I'm happy today he's here so that I'll address these things. The one he lives here, he wouldn't continue peddling this falsehood. Because it just doesn't
Because you see, he's attacking my person and I wouldn't have it, please.
You've attacked the NDC. I'm a member of the NDC.
Look, I have not attacked your person. I'm sitting here.
Richard.
Please, Walanyo.
Yes, so
please. Please.
I am saying
Richard,
he's attacking my person and I'm not going to have it.
Nobody will attack your person.
Is he saying that there is no... No, but you should be asking him. Is he saying that the media did not publish on 29th? Of April 2016.
Yes, but I've told you. I've told you
that you should be asking him questions. When I'm talking, you asking me questions.
Yes.
Ask him.
But you put
on
your
the 29th of April
2016,
did media publish a methodology, a tariff methodology or not?
Very unfair to me this morning. I'm saying
did they publish a sales a methodology or not?
When you were speaking.
So when he says that I'm being bankrupt and all of those things, I will have it.
When you were speaking, I saw him putting down points. And I'm insisting you do that. If there's anything, I would ask him to withdraw.
I have given dates. No, Walanyo, I have given you dates.
Be fair to
and I'm saying that
there
was a methodology published.
No problem.
By media. There was a sales license published, supposedly from Energy Commission. On 6th of May, they all refuted it.
Richard.
Are you telling me it didn't happen?
You put down your point.
So why is he saying it and you are asking, you are having him virtually insult me on facts that I put out?
Please. You put down your point. Let's be nice to ourselves, please.
Yeah, so that advice should go to him.
So I've given the caution. Let's be nice to ourselves. Okay. You address the issues. If you have any concerns, you put it down. I'll give you the opportunity to react. Thank you.
I will address every single issue. I'm just taxiing. I haven't even taken off.
Oh, take off. I'm waiting for you.
Look, I'm just taxiing. And I'll take them one after the other, debunk them and refute them. So I've dealt with the first one. The second one has to do with forged documents. Forgery is criminal. And crime has no status bar. You claim that the NDC, we were complicit. We couldn't handle it. We left office. You've been in office 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. What have you done about these so-called forged documents? You see? Look, Martin Amidu, he went to court on the Wyoming case. Was he a party to the case? Did he not secure judgment? Your case was weak. You had a defective case, and so the court threw you out. In any case, if the High Court throws you out, don't you have the opportunity to go to the appeals court? Can't you go to the next level? If you are convinced and you are sure, you are certain that you have a case, wouldn't you travel the full hog And then you come and sit here and say that the judge did not have balls. Look at him. That the judge did not have balls. Between you and the judge, who has balls? The judge saw your case defective and threw you out. Now he says that, look, the fact that you have an interest in a company, it amounts to conflict of interest. He doesn't even understand what conflict of interest means. When you have an interest in a company or a matter and you do full disclosure, it cures the issue of a conflict of interest. And they want to carry us on this path. All these issues you've raised, they are moot. Not even one single one of these can stand the test of time. When you do full disclosure in a matter, you cure the issue of a conflict of interest. And that is what the IFC did. And cabinet considered it and approved it. John Mohammed's cabinet did the right thing. If you don't understand these processes, let's walk you through the processes so that you stop attacking all of us. If I was not here today, you would have just gone on this same tangent and just impugn all of us.
Has your being here stopped me from being on that tangent?
Because what he's seeking to do
when
is
you
to
are done, I
will. And he said that JINAPOR was a minister at that time.
You were the deputy minister.
That's what he says.
You were the deputy minister.
He builds his own flawed, empty analysis.
You were the deputy minister.
Of empty lies, and then jump on that and decides to impugn people's integrity and people's credibility. And he does so on no less a program other than Good Morning Ghana. On this program, you won't succeed.
Well, I know.
Richard,
can you at least ask him if the letters are referred to?
Richard,
look,
Richard,
I've
asked you. I've asked
if
that
you are talking of conflict of interest,
I've asked that we do something.
If you are talking of conflict of interest,
Richard,
you are telling me the mere cure is for me to declare my interest publicly.
Please wait.
Is that the case?
Please wait.
Because I'll be putting cases that people have declared their interest and done disclosures, and you have had issues with them on conflict of interest situations.
I'm asking that we do something. When you were speaking, I'm saying that, I'm repeating this, please. I saw him quiet, putting down his point. These interjections, if anybody's supposed to do it and ask questions, it's supposed to come from me.
Yeah, but you're not asking questions.
But you are not supposed to tell me to ask questions, please.
I've put some facts out. You put those facts to him.
Don't worry. I'm saying I'll give you the opportunity to speak. John.
You see, when we say facts, it means that it's sacrosanct. You have put information out that is turned out to be inaccurate, that is turned out to be infactual. Facts are facts. You can have your opinion. As for opinion, you can have it. But you can't have your different sets of facts, and others will have their different sets of facts. Facts are sacrosanct. What you've done is to peddle falsehood and build on that falsehood to impugn the integrity and the credibility of people. Let me deal with this issue of tariff methodology. You don't understand what you are talking about. What the IFC did was to do some consultation and to do a proposed tariff methodology. The PURC Act, Act 538, Section 2, 9, and 11, is clear as to who sets tariffs and who comes out with tariff. But the IFC, being a technical arm of the World Bank, decided to do a simulation and to publish it for the public and all of us to give inputs. Okay. And then you go and read it and come and sit here that the IFC approved tariffs. Approved tariffs for who?
Well, I know.
IFC approved tariffs for who?
Well, I know. He's misquoting me.
Is it the bankruptcy of
you see, well, I know. I seriously have a problem.
You have a problem.
You are sitting down here misquoting me. At no point in time did I say IFC approved tariff. I said IFC and MIDA published a tariff methodology. Listen to me. On the 29th of April 2016.
And so what?
Listen, they have no capacity under the laws of Ghana to do any such thing. They have no capacity under the laws of Ghana. The same PURC you are quoting gives that sole responsibility to the PURC. So if IFC and MIDA are doing a simulation exercise, so-called simulation, and publishing it as coming from the PURC, that is fraud. And if you don't see that as fraud,
Okay, Richard,
then you are part of it.
you've made your point. No problem.
The viewers are watching us.
They are watching you
please, you
too.
Make one point.
29th
John,
of
you-
April, there
please,
was
you
a
see-
publication. Are you
Richard,
telling me IFC
you are
has
not
the right to
helping-
do that?
You see, you are not helping us.
Because you are not asking him
Please,
questions.
I'm saying, but he's making. If I need to come in, you don't have to tell me to ask him questions.
I have said that
And
there
I'm
was
saying that,
a
I thought that-
publication.
wait,
There
Ask
was
what
a
I did from you,
publication.
what he said is
What
true
I did
or
from
not.
you, Richard,
There was a
what
publication.
Wait, Richard, what I did from you,
Yes.
in particular, was to seek clarification on the IFC and then the media issue you raised.
Yes.
So, if I'm seeking clarifications, he's making a point. When I need to come in, I'll come. But you don't tell me to ask him questions.
I'm saying
so
that.
you just leave him to make his point.
I stated dates. I
You
stated
don't worry.
publications.
I'll give you the opportunity.
I stated the
You are
fact
not
that
making things easy
even
for
the
all of us and then our
IFC and
viewers.
media withdrew what they put
No
out.
problem.
Is that not an admission?
No problem.
And you are sitting here telling me that they were doing a simulation.
No problem. You just allow him to make his point.
Simulation.
We need to take
simulate
this conversation
what?
forward.
The Ghanaian people's reaction to tariff methodology or what?
Richard, you are not helping anybody.
See, what Richard doesn't even know, and is the ignorance. What he doesn't know is that PURC doesn't publish tariff methodology. PURC publishes approved tariffs. You know what a tariff methodology is? A tariff methodology is to say that it should go this way, this is how we should handle it. So you are doing some kind of scenario and sensitivity analysis.
talking about regulatory economics?
Given that. Yes, I'm talking regulatory economics. He should listen so that you don't go and do this thing on another platform. PURC has the sole mandate to publish tariffs through a gazette. It's a constitutional power they have. The Act gives them that power. And so I can choose to publish a methodology that will use this method. It doesn't amount to usurping the authority of the PURC. I can say that, look, in doing the weighted averages, let's give more weight to fuel because fuel makes is changed. Or let's give more weight to this or that. Those are scenarios and methodologies that we are all discussing. But the tariff, as approved and announced through a gazette, is done by the PURC and no other body. So don't confuse your state of mind and try to pollute the people.
When you finish, I'll give you a few questions. Since
don't
Walanyo
confuse yourself, and in your state of confusion, try to pollute the people of Ghana.
Let me come in here a bit.
What kind of behavior is this?
My other question to you is,
look at them.
Let me come in a bit. You are asking that government should terminate the contract.
We will come to the. I think I've dealt with all these
Yes,
inaccuracies
so let me ask you a
and tangentially relevant issues. Let me now come to the PDS proper. Look, we have been consistent in saying that this government is complicit in this whole PDS deal. Now look at Rachel's scenario. Somebody steals your goods. You are chasing the goods. Look, you stolen my goat, you stolen my goat. Then he insists that no, I haven't stolen the goat, I'm only carrying the goat. Then eventually, he dumps the goods and then turn around and clap for me. And you were saying I've stolen the goat, I've now dumped the goat down, so clap for me. What kind of cocoa story is this? What kind of story is that? That you wanted us to cancel it. We cancelled it. On the 1st of April, when I wrote that article, insisting that the PDS deal was fraudulent and that the guarantee was not fit for purpose, they insulted me and claimed that I don't read. I'm talking of 1st April. On the floor of Parliament. And if you want, I will read my contribution on the floor of Parliament. When I stated that the deal was not proper and was not fit for purpose, they poo-pooed us on the floor of Parliament and passed the deal. Then today you are exposed, you are caught pants down, and then you turn around to say, oh, I'm terminating it. So clap for me. This defies logic. It doesn't make sense. And you see, what pains me and what worries me is the attempt by these guys to always portray themselves as if they are intelligent and they are superior, and that those of us on the other side, we know next to nothing. That's the only thing that worries me. Last week, I was here with Nana Damwa. He brought a certain document claiming that we were at Mavenpick on the issue of this Meridian thing, and said that we had been briefed, we were part of it. It did not end there. Peter Mehu, the minister, called the media and showed the same document to them. and ran on me. He mentioned my name, took me on in particular, and said I was at the meeting and that I misled the General Secretary, I was lying and all kinds of things. So we challenged them. Parliament is a house of record. When Parliament has any program, the first thing we do is to sign the attendance sheet. The next thing you do is to keep minutes. Look, MCC, even when you meet them and you have a discussion with them, they record everything and they send you the transcripts. So I challenged him and demanded the evidence. Because anybody can just print a PowerPoint document. But as for signature and attendance sheet, it is the source document and it is authentic. When I challenged him, he coiled back into his shell. But you see, it won't end there. Today we are going to Parliament. We shall use legitimate parliamentary processes and haul him before Parliament. For impugning Parliament and peddling falsehood about Parliament.
The document that came to Parliament, is it different from the one that he spoke to?
The one he spoke to never appeared before Parliament.
It never came to Parliament.
We were not even part of it. I have never stepped at Movenpick since I left office. And the only way to prove that I was at that meeting would be to prove that, look, JINAPOR was there, he signed the attendance sheet, or to show the minutes that demonstrates that the minority side, we were there. And he said he was there. At that time, he wasn't even the Minister of Energy. So how could he have been there at that meeting? And then, you see, when he was talking, they don't read. They don't read. You see, it's a particular phrase they like using. Meanwhile, when you subject them to critical scrutiny, come to realize that, with the greatest of respect to viewers, I mean, they are just... Anyway, I don't want to be abusive and offensive. But clearly, my brother, this government has operated with so much opacity, and they lack the integrity to even come and pontificate. And that's, but for the NDC, you wouldn't have had this problem. Are we the one who went looking for those local content people? So President Mahama brought all those Babes and those people into this deal. President Mahama selected Miracle. President Mahama approved the decision for Miracle to transfer its shares to Meridian. What kind of behavior is that? President Mahama approved this deal at cabinet. At least credit the people of Ghana with some modicum of knowledge and intelligence. How can you say that the NDC caused this problem? What did the NDC do in respect of this problem? The fraudulent guarantee that was brought to your government, in which you failed or connived to approve that guarantee. It's President Mahama who received that guarantee. It's President Mahama and the NDC that decided that they will pass the guarantee. Even when Hutton and Williams LLP of US had cautioned that the guarantee was not proper. You knew on the 28th of February that the guarantee was not proper. You knew. Because ECG wrote to them, cautioning them, and yet you approved it. And today when you are exposed and you are embarrassed, look at the shame you've brought onto all of us. This is an international embarrassment of monumental proportion. And then you want to do equalization. Even these things he's talking about, what's the relevance here? That he went to court. And so what? What has that got to do with this PDS issue? Is the whole issue not about bank guarantee? Is that not why we are here?
Yeah.
It's about bank guarantee. What has that got to do with you and tariff methodology? Something was published, assuming it was even published, and PUIC said withdraw it, and it was withdrawn. Has that not been cured? What has that got to do with this problem? These tangential issues won't help anybody. Don't take us on this path, please. The people of Ghana deserve better.
Your General Secretary yesterday made a very famous statement that we want our money. Have we lost any money? No.
ECG makes a daily collection of 12.5 million cedis on the average. A weekly collection of 93 million. And within the 5 months, if you do the extrapolation, PDS would have collected 1.9 billion. That's a huge amount. Almost 2 billion cedis. We are well aware that at least the procurement for the guarantee, the payment of the premium, about 75% of that came from ECG's cash flows. It's contained in the FCI report. And so when the General Secretary of the great NDC, General Johnson Esidin Ketia, makes a clarion call that there should be a forensic audit and all monies that have been misapplied must come back to the state, the least you can do is to give him a standing ovation. That's the least you can do. And yet you say that the document is full of propaganda. When the General Secretary says that, look, this is what our minister has said, and the minister accused MCC that when the president left, they had an understanding and even shook hands. The minister decided to bring that. And that what Kim was doing, the vice president of MCC, was contrary to the agreement between the president and the MCC boss himself. So the General Secretary says, we are waiting for MCC to respond so that we can know the veracity of the two and then we can make an informed decision. And he said that the General Secretary is trying to put the government against the Americans. Have you read it well? I mean, everything Richard has said here, it just lacks merit and it has no basis. When we say that, look, media has failed, and truly media has failed, so media must be restructured, it's a legitimate call. So what the General Secretary did was serving the interest of the nation, doing the proper thing. And you guys should join us. We're on the right side, you're on the wrong side. So we can come and join you. So I hear them, oh, you must join government, you must join government. How can we join you when you're on the wrong side? You rather must join us so that we can protect the state asset and serve in the interest of the country. I rest my case.